What's going on, guys? Bengal King here, coming back at you with another video, and today we are back on Madden franchise, rebuilding the Seattle Seahawks. And I know they don't need a rebuild. It's for the video. Relax. The Seahawks are a great team. They might honestly be the favorite in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. They've got a bunch of fantastic players, but as with every team in the NFL, they have some holes in this realistic style rebuild, which basically means we use the 2020 NFL draft class. It's our job to improve this team in all of the areas in which they are lacking. That's the offensive line, that's the defensive line, that's parts of the secondary. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Let's break down the roster, see where some areas of improvement might be. Wide receiver, tight end, me speaking clearly. If I slur my words again, I'm going to lose it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the full healthy team. It is realistic, but we play with injuries off. And the reason that I do that is to not halt the entire progression of the team. Now, I don't know what we're going to do with Josh Gordon. He's suspended indefinitely. We're not going to play with him. I'll probably just cut him. It is what it is. Let's not worry about it. On the offensive line, we got Dwayne Brown, Mike Apati, two offensive linemen who have been good in the past. Dwayne Brown certainly better now. Apati was a beast. Mauler of a run blocker. Not too great nowadays. Justin Britt is a pretty good center. And of course, we got to take it at face value what it is in Madden. So even if Justin Britt, say for example, is having a great season, he's only a 76 overall with normal development. Probably a position we're going to look to upgrade. DJ Fluker should be good star development. He might be 28 years old. Former first-round draft pick Jermaine Ifedi is another guy we're going to have to replace. George Fant, who's been like an offensive tackle, tight end hybrid at times. Maybe not so much this year, but Will Dissly, very underrated, very talented tight end, great blocker, great red zone threat for the Seahawks. Ed Dixon, Jacob Hollister, I want to say that is. And then the backfield got Chris Carson, who's one of the better running backs in the NFL when healthy. Rashad Penny, Travis Homer, Nick Bellore. Now, Marshawn Lynch, as I record this, signed yesterday. However, he is not in this current edition of the roster, and I can't imagine he'd be a player that makes a big impact long term. So if you expected Marshawn Lynch to be in this, I apologize. He's not in the game that I have access to. I have not seen him. So Marshawn is not going to be available to be added. It is what it is. Apologies. But Russell Wilson is here. That's the crux. That's the main piece of this team. Also have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, David Moore, and of course, Jerron Brown. Some good players in here. Some good players for sure. Russell Wilson hopefully leads us to greatness. And then defensively, Bobby Wagner, one of the best linebackers in the NFL, if not the best, at least on the inside. KJ Wright, Michael Kendricks, two pretty good players. Shaquem Griffin, Ben Burke-Irvin's in here. In the secondary, of course, this team traded for Quandre Diggs. Got Tedrick Thompson, Marquise Blair, who's a rookie out of Utah, I want to say. It's Lavert Hill. Bradley McDougald, pretty good player, pretty underrated. I think 77, maybe a little bit too low, honestly. Maybe he's closer to an 80, but a lot of these overalls seem a bit low for some of these players. Jerron Reed's a pretty good player. Al Woods. Poona Ford is a good player. LJ Collier, first-round draft pick for the Seahawks. But they have Ziggy Ansah, Clowney at their edge spots right now. Now, I don't remember who this is. It is DeMarcus Christmas. See, the interesting thing about this... Oh, never mind. I knew this. Okay, I got him confused very slightly. I thought it was DeMarcus Christmas who played forward or center for Syracuse, like in 2014. That was Rakeem Christmas. Don't worry about it. I don't know what we're going to do with LJ Collier just yet. He's only a 69 overall normal development rookie. He's 23. There's not a whole lot to work with there. There's no point to starting him over Ziggy Ansah either at this point. And then the secondary cornerback, we have Shaquille Griffin, Trey Flowers, Nico Thorpe, Ugo Amadi, who's almost more of a safety. Not a great cornerback group at all. Akeem King in here. Not a great secondary. Something we'll definitely look to improve upon. Quandre Diggs should have star development, by the way. Kind of ridiculous that he only has normal, in my opinion. He's been a great player. But let's go ahead and load in this draft class. I did update it. If you're watching now, it has been updated even more recently. So I've done 2 updates in December. In this one, we added players that you might be familiar with that are getting a lot of hype. And just some guys that we were missing, like Brandon Aiyuk out of Arizona State is quite good. I kind of changed the order and the overalls in some of these players. So kind of a big update. We're going to see guys like Henry Ruggs closer to the top, so he actually goes in the first round a lot more often. Javon Kinlaw has been moved up pretty substantially. A lot of the receivers moved up. Jerry Jeudy to 7. CeeDee Lamb to 11. The running backs got moved up a lot so that some of those go in the first round, actually, like DeAndre Swift at 10. J.K. Dobbins at 21. Jonathan Taylor at 15. A lot of guys got moved around. Christian Fulton got moved up quite a bit. And there were a lot of players that got added. Hamza and Nasir-Ladin, which is a tough name for me to say. I think I got it. Antoine Brooks was added. At free safety, this was all moved around quite a bit. Ashton Davis at a Cal was added. Who else? I don't know. A lot of guys got added all around. So I would highly recommend you guys re-download if you've been using this class. Things have been changed big time. And people always ask me, it's like, hey, if I downloaded it months ago, it'll just update automatically, right? No, it doesn't do that at all. Monty Rice has been added. Malik Harrison of Ohio State has been added. A lot of guys got added. A lot of new additions. Neville Gallimore, Marvin Wilson. Orders have been changed. Overalls have been changed. Again, would very highly recommend you re-download if you have not already. Even more receivers got added because this is the most stacked receiver class in recent memory. There's so many of these guys that could go first round and could get first round hype that we can't have them all go first round. Like, if he comes out, Donovan Peoples-Jones could be a first rounder. Devontae Smith could be a first rounder. If not for injury, Tylan Wallace could be a first rounder. Tyler Johnson, Justin Jefferson, KJ Hamler, Brandon Aiyuk, T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault, Jalen Reagor, Henry Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, all could be first round receivers. And there could be even more. So, big talk about the draft class. We're going to scout, pretty much just jump into the postseason. First season doesn't really matter too much in these realistic rebuilds as the team has already been constructed for me. But offseason will be coming soon enough. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is going to be a free agent. That's someone I'd like to bring back. Just such a talented player. Only 26 years old. Jaron Reed, kind of the same deal. Ziggy Ansah can walk. Michael Kendricks can walk. Al Woods can go. Not a whole lot of value elsewhere on this team. David Moore is maybe worth a contract as he is honestly more expensive than I want him to be. East Central University. Way to be as nondescript as possible with that location. East Central. And I'm not even being funny with this. I don't even have a guess of where East Central might be. What is east of Central? I feel like I know he went to high school in North Texas because I know someone that knows him. Weird story. Shout out to that dude Sly. Actually used to make YouTube videos. Maybe he still does. I don't think so. But where is East Central? What is that? It is Oklahoma. Okay. That's where I would have guessed because I drove through Oklahoma with Sly. There's a weird story it's not that related, but that would have been my guess. Went to a casino there. It was weird. Tell you what, I don't really like blackjack. Not a fun game. Also, there's no skill involved. And if you come out here and you're like, oh, blackjack's actually a very skillful game. It isn't. It isn't. It doesn't take skill to remember, okay, I hit on 14. Or I don't hit on 14, whatever it is. Blackjack is all luck, and the house wins 90% of the time. It's like, oh, you're just not good at it. No, it's not. It's all luck. There's no talent to it. With poker, that's a luck-based game that's very skillful. There's luck with every card game, and every gambling game, but poker has the most skill by a lot. Blackjack, oh, the dealer got 20, and I got, let's see, 16. I lose. That's what happens. You hit, you go over. If you stick, you don't come close enough. Weird rant about blackjack. The Vikings are in the wild card. I'm not sure that this is the game we're going to win. We'll upgrade David Moore, who, again, is just a little bit too expensive. See if we can beat the Vikings, who are usually terrible in simulation. And they proved that time, losing by 2 touchdowns. And now it's the 12-4 New Orleans Saints in the divisional round of the playoffs to advance to the conference championship. Do we have it in us? Yes. Winning by a touchdown. But now we face the mighty 13-3 Aaron Rodgers-led Green Bay Packers. This is certainly a tough matchup. And we have a breakout challenge for Trey Flowers. It should be pretty easy since he only has normal development. Here's the thing. In simulation, I don't think it's going to happen. We got to go into Lambeau and really hold the Packers to nothing. What are the odds of that actually happening? Turns out low. Packers-Ravens, Super Bowl 54. We don't have it. And we're going to advance to the offseason, which is really when things start to happen anyway. I don't care about just simulating in the playoffs with a team that I have nothing to do with. Again, I mean, I got Jerron Reed and Jadeveon Clowney back. I don't really need anyone to re-sign. I'm fine with starting LJ Collier at the edge. I'd probably look to upgrade that in the draft maybe, but it's fine for right now. Austin Hooper would be a good addition. Who are some players we don't usually target? Yannick Ngakoue I target every time, and he denies me every time. Maybe this will be the one time we can actually sign Yannick Ngakoue. We'll give him a big contract. Maybe not that big, but substantial enough so that he actually might consider signing. I swear to God, I'm going to keep it at 111 points. It's not even that much money, and he never accepts. If I'm doing one thing in this video, I swear it is signing Yannick Ngakoue. He is going to become a member of this Seahawks team. Don't deny me. Thank you. If he would have denied me, bro, I wouldn't even know what to do. That would have been so frustrating. Tyler Lockett is up to superstar development. That is awesome. Happened Super Bowl week, of course. DK Metcalf has star. I don't even know what to do with Rashad Penny. He can be a backup for now. Dwayne Brown has retired. Micah Potty has retired. So we need help on the offensive line very, very badly. But we knew that. KJ Wright has superstar development. I think Bobby Wagner already had superstar X Factor. I'm 99% sure. He definitely did. I don't think KJ Wright did. Bradley McDougall is regressing. There are actually a lot of holes on this team. We're missing a lot. Maybe we can have someone give us a hand with making this team great. Other than that, I don't know I don't know, because should we just sign anybody out of free agency to play offensive line? Is there anybody in here? Jason Peters old, Khalil terrible. Apati didn't retire. He's just super low overall now, so it doesn't make sense to get him. Darrell Williams, it doesn't make sense to sign. Skira, it doesn't really make sense to sign. Elijah Wilkinson doesn't bring much to the table. He's okay. I think I am going to offer him just because he should be fairly cheap for a short deal, and he's 25. I mean, we could even give him more years than that, and if he progresses a little bit, 4 years. Yeah, I'll give him 4 years. That's a decent. Nah, I'll give him 3. I'll give him 3 because I don't know how well he's going to progress. We're going to play it safe with a 3-year deal. Don't want to get tied up that long. And then there's not much going on. There really isn't a whole lot to like on the offensive line. I don't know why the offensive line in free agency is so terrible this year as Wilkinson signs. Could be that way in real life, but also what I would imagine is that the sim engine just makes the teams always re-sign their offensive linemen and never have them test free agency. That's why you see the same players time in and time again. As we pick at number 30 overall. That's what happens when you make it to the NFC Conference Championship and lose. CeeDee Lamb to the Raiders. That's a fun pick. Creed Humphrey to the Dolphins. And here we are. Jonathan Taylor's available. We don't really need running backs. Curtis Weaver could go with a Boise State edge rusher. Neville Gallimore. Don't really need defensive tackle all that badly. I'm honestly feeling Curtis Weaver here. Let's go ahead and take him. Edge rusher. We could use the help. 73 overall, normal development, number 49 in the class. We took him at number 30. 83 power moves, 83 speed. I think he's definitely a better player than LJ Collier right now. So we might look to start him. And then the rest of my picks might be spent across the offensive line because we really, really, really need to improve at those positions. We have 2 picks here at the end of the second. J.K. Dobbins is available, but we don't need running back. Trey Smith might be the pick here. And I think that's what I'm going to lead. Let's go Austin Jackson out of USC. 71 overall, normal development. Ranked number 75. Took him at 59. Pretty good strength. Pretty well balanced. Maybe Trey Smith would have been the pick. But he still might be available as Travis Etienne goes to the Texans there. Like, there are good running backs available. Like, Dobbins is a beast. We just do not need that position at all. And we're going to take Trey Smith. 69 overall, but star or better development. Nice, by the way. Number 116 in the class. We took him at 62 or something like that. Yeah. I don't mind the reach. I just care about the overall and the development. Trey Smith looks like he's very, very good. I think we have a lot to work with there. He's definitely going to start year 1. We'll just have to find a spot for him. Brandon Aiyuk is here in the 3rd round, which is totally fine. But I'm tempted to take that. That's a player we haven't taken before. Let's go with it. New to the draft class. First look at Brandon Aiyuk. 72 overall, normal development, ranked number 67. We took him at 126. Good speed, good route running for the most part. Release is okay. Pretty good after the catch. That's how I view Brandon Aiyuk. I think he's a pretty good player. And definitely someone that's going to get some first-round buzz. He's solid, and about time he made the way into the draft class. I hadn't added players in a little while, so definitely like that addition. Don't really want to take another receiver, but there are so many to choose from. We'll just go with another offensive lineman. This is Bryce Meeker, and he is bad, as a lot of these offensive linemen are in the 5th round and later. That's going to do it for this draft. Let's go ahead and reassemble the team, get ready for Season 2. So this is what the team's going to look like. We filled up our holes on the offensive line pretty well. DJ Fluker is probably going to slide over to left guard. I think Wilkinson is right guard. So that works. We'll just move DJ Fluker over. Yeah, he's regressing a little bit because he hit age 29, and then players can't be good if they're 28 or older. That's the rule of Madden franchise. Gotta love it. It's not overpowered and stupid at all. Or maybe it is. But it's not a great offensive line, but it should be able to develop okay. I'm going to get a 4th receiver because I don't want Will Dissly to be there. So we have only backup tight ends there. It's not great. Defensively, I moved into a 3-4. Got Clowney on the outside. KJ Wright moved in. Yannick Ngakoue slid back. Jerron Reed's going to play right end. We got Poona Ford at nose tackle. And then Curtis Weaver at left end. It's a pretty good defensive setup. We still have some holes. Again, we didn't really address the secondary too much. I still want to improve safety a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and sign a 4th and probably a 5th receiver. And then go ahead and simulate to the midseason mark in Season 2. So I will see you guys there. 6-2 at the midseason mark following a big loss at the hands of the Cardinals. 42-28. Chris Carson is an impending free agent. I think it'll be important to bring him back. Shaquille Griffin as well. DJ Fluker, not so much. KJ Wright, not so much. He's 31 years old. Only a 78 overall, continues to regress. It just doesn't make sense to bring him back. Poona Ford definitely deserves a big contract. Only 24 years old. He's very cheap. We can get him for a 5-year deal, and he'll probably progress into that 80s plus range. Justin Britt, I can rationalize on a 2-year deal. He'll probably either stay the same or regress a little bit, but it's only a 2-year deal, so we have a little bit of time to replace that if we want. I signed Kendrick Bourne in free agency. I'm not going to bring back Javon Wims, either Ryan Fitzpatrick or Bradley McDougald. Same deal. I'm not going to sign players so I can watch them regress. There's no point. DJ Fluker, I'm going to bring back maybe on a 2-year deal for the same reason that I brought back Justin Britt, and he resigns. So we're golden on the players that matter the least in this class. Chris Carson, very cheap. This is not really a big contract at all, and he's going to be up probably into the 90s for sure. And then Shaquille Griffin, I know probably and then for sure kind of don't go together. He'll get a pretty big contract, but he's also trending near the 90s. He resigns as well. Got everybody back that we wanted to. Not a whole lot of commitment there outside of the players that we really wanted to bring back, like Shaquille Griffin, like Chris Carson. We're golden. Just snuck into the playoffs at 10-6, another wild card, which is not exactly where we want to be, but it's not terrible. We'll go ahead and take a look at the stats of season number 2, see where things went. So Russell Wilson wasn't particularly good, but that's because this is such a run-heavy offense, and we had the best defense in the NFL. Russell Wilson had a good year, but low touchdowns, low yards. It's because we ran the ball a ton, probably. 270 touches for Chris Carson, 177 touches for Rashad Penny. Really a dual backfield here. 13 touchdowns for Carson, 8 for Rashad Penny. Russell Wilson was dominant on the ground, took off 66 times. Even Travis Homer got involved. Very odd offense. Receiving. It's tough to look at these numbers and say, like, oh, these guys did anything special, because we're such a run-first offense, it appears, that the receiving numbers are going to be so lackluster. Tackles for loss, 11 for Clowney, also added 12 sacks. Jerron Reed had 0, by the way. 8 for Curtis Weaver, 6 for Ngakoue, 6 for Bobby Wagner even. Interceptions, only 4 for the entire team. We had the #1 defense in terms of yards allowed, and we had 4 interceptions. Do we force any turnovers at all? I'd like to see how points shapes up. 5th in points scored, so our offense was fantastic. Really a run-first team. And we had the very best defense in the league. 4 turnovers. How does that even make sense? They just only punted? I don't believe that. NFC Offense Player of the Year is Mitchell Trubisky. No. Who won the MVP? Was it also Trubisky? No. The Bears' offense is amazing in simulation. I will say that. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack. Go Bears. Apparently they're awesome this year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Tua Tagovailoa with the Redskins. Brandon Aiyuk at number 5. Richie Worship at number 8. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Paulson Adebo for the Vikings. Curtis Weaver finishes at number 5. All right, we'll see if we can go through the Bears in the wild card. And we cannot. 38-20. We really did not come to play, apparently. But it's those Mitchell Trubisky Bears that are so pesky. They got the MVP, and they steamrolled through us. Who are the Seahawks? Who is Russell Wilson? They have Money Mitch. And that electric Chicago Bears offense, apparently. Not great. KJ Wright's down to his 75. Yeah, we don't really want to bring any of these guys back, man. Lano Hill. When I say Lavert Hill, Lavert Hill's a cornerback out of Michigan. Why did I say Lavert? People are going to already have commented that probably because they don't watch the video and they got to get the correction out ASAP.
Actually, he's not Lavert.
I get it. I realize my mistake, but you've already left the comment, so relax. Okay, so what do we want here? I prefer Budda Baker to Marcus Williams, honestly. And I really think we should bring in Laramie Tunsil. I know we've been bringing in Laramie Tunsil a decent bit, but he's so good and he's in free agency. I really, really should bring him in. Budda Baker, I think, would be an excellent addition. We have the money for it. Laramie Tunsil would help us out so much. Do for Russell Wilson what he's done for Deshaun Watson. And sure, he gets called for a hold every so often, but he doesn't allow sacks. He's good in the run game. Hopefully he doesn't say nah to us here like he did in real life, and he did. If you guys have not seen that story, I forget what video I told it in. It was one of the Dolphins franchise episodes, and I may have told it in another one, where I was out with Wheels and some other people, actually, at a nightclub. And it was the Texans bye week, and I'm like, wait, is that Laramie Tunsil? And I'm like, it definitely is. And it totally was. Walked up to him, like, yay, Laramie Tunsil. And he goes, nah. I'm like, all right. So he is not approachable, but at least not in that environment. But Laramie Tunsil rejected. He said nah to me here too. Trey Smith has star, but our offensive line's coming along. Would have been really nice to bring in Laramie Tunsil. Didn't happen. Chris Carson's up to superstar development. That's fantastic. Brandon Aiyuk has not changed, unfortunately. And then defensively, Bobby Wagner has regressed slightly. Budda Baker's a big addition, but we need another safety. Quandre Diggs could move over there, actually. He'd be fine. Played corner at Texas, was great there. Of course, big Texas Longhorns fan. He's probably, and this is sad, he is the best defensive back in the last decade. And okay, that's like mean because Earl Thomas was in the 2010 draft, but that's like, I'm not really counting that draft class, even though it was technically in the last decade. But I think that's 11 drafts ago. So we have 2010 to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Maybe it's 10. All right. I thought it skipped a year with the season. I don't know. So other than Earl Thomas, Quandre Diggs is the best defensive back to come out. And we've proved once again that I do not know even basic math. It's fun to be me. I also brought in Levi Wallace in free agency, lowballed him big time, and we got him for a pretty good deal. We were picking at number 21. Of course, this is an auto-generated class now. I've been doing that for the second season, so I have no idea what's here, but looks like a pretty gross cornerback. B-plus man coverage, 6'1", 4.33 speed, out of Fresno State. Kind of want that. But also Jerry Langford. Looks amazing. Little low on the bench press maybe, but top skills are there. Artavius Beckwith. Okay, maybe. I don't know about that one. I don't really know what's going to be there at 21. I think most of the good players that I am considering are going to be off the board. There goes Artavius Beckwith, 78 overall. So he's a pretty good player. Could take a safety. I might just go offensive line. I'm definitely not going to take running back. What do you pick here? Just stock picks at 21. I don't know. We're going to take a guard, try to continue to beef up the offensive line. Darren McClendon, number 13 in the class, took him at 21, 74 overall, only normal development. When you draft these offensive linemen, you're shooting for star or better development because the only way they can get a development upgrade is through the draft. By upgrade, I mean higher than normal. Offensive linemen do not get development upgrades ever. So normal development kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? Let's go offensive line again. Luther Hewitt, 69 overall, number 39 in the class, took him at 53. Nice. He is whatever. Again, like the reason I took back-to-back O-line there, when you think, oh, your offensive line's coming along. With DJ Fluker and Justin Britt regressing in the near future, I think it was important to potentially look to find their replacements in this draft. And there's not a whole lot of value in this draft other than offensive line. There's Deshaun Elliott, not to be confused with Deshaun Elliott, the Texas safety that plays for the Ravens now. And I say plays. He's hurt all the time. Loved him at Texas. Hasn't been too great of a player because of his health concerns. And I'll probably even end up taking offensive line again. But let's go with a safety here in Irvin Jameson out of Akron. Shout out LeBron. 68 overall, number 52 in the class. Took at 85, normal development. Unfortunate. I mean, like they're good picks for the spot, but they're not great players that are going to impact the team, unfortunately. And with our last pick in the 4th round, I'm just going to take another offensive lineman. The guy that's supposed to go in the 7th, Lee Ryan, 68 overall, number 50, took him at 117. Only a 68 overall, normal development. I hate normal development, and it's all I'm getting. This will be the team for Season 3. We've improved on the offensive line a little bit. Again, just waiting for some of these guys to develop, and I'm sure they will in terms of overall because they're going to get some skill points with how well we run the football. They're going to meet some of those yardage goals. And then defensively, Budda Baker is a big addition. Maybe he'd be even moved to cornerback eventually, but we have Levi Wallace as our 3rd for now, Ugo Amadi even, so I think we're fine. Yeah, Marquise Blair's not going to play very much, which is kind of sad because he'd be a cool player to develop, and our defensive line is going to stay as is. LJ Collier is a backup. His contract's going to be off the books in a couple years. There's not a player I really want to keep around. He's not playing. He's not developing. What's the point? All right. We are 5-2. So even though Tyler Lockett's frustrated, sorry, we're winning games. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're not going to change the offensive scheme because you're not happy about it. And in fact, we're going to re-sign you. 28 years old, so he's going to regress. But I'm comfortable signing him to a 4-year deal. We're running a little bit low on funds, but Tyler Lockett's going to return. Will Dissly, somebody I definitely want to return. Again, good run blocking tight end, but also it can be a good red zone threat for us. Trey Flowers probably, but Michael Dixon, another Texas beast. This is the only punter I would sign to a long-term deal. The only one. Michael Dixon needs higher salary. Could just get him in free agency. Quandre Diggs, I know he's got the Texas connection. I don't see the value in bringing him back. Trey Flowers, I do, though. I'd love to see a development increase for him. And I don't even know what our money's looking like. He went to higher salary. So who's really weighing us down? Obviously, Russell Wilson's got a gigantic contract. Clowney's got a pretty big contract. Who's really, who other than them, though? LJ Collier is going to be a decent bit of it. Bobby Wagner. What is our 2021 salary cap hit? Yannick Ngakoue. Griffin. So DJ Fluker's going to be off the books pretty soon. Justin Britt also going to be off the books pretty soon. Don't have to worry about them. And then Quandre Diggs is going to be gone. Jason Myers is earning way too much. And then Collier will be gone. That's not even as much as I thought. It's really all in the bonus with him because his first-round pick. Josh Dobbs is making way too much. But yeah, we're actually not in a terrible cap situation. Just it's a little bit weird considering the fact that we're a little bit tight for this season. But I don't think it's going to be a problem long-term. I'm actually going to spend some Coach XP real quick. I think we should have enough. And then I will see you guys for the playoffs. First round bye. Awesome. Awesome. Let's go ahead and see that happen. 13-3. These Seahawks continue to roll. Our offense was still pretty good. Russell Wilson had a better season. I guess we threw the ball a little bit more rushing. Chris Carson still had a ton of attempts. Rashad Penny had fewer and didn't perform as well. But overall, I guess we passed the ball a little bit more this season, which is good to see. Aiyuk had a good year. I mean, he's doing a lot with not a whole ton of catches. DK Metcalf, good season. Will Dissly had 7 touchdowns, 7 for Tyler Lockett. Defensively, Bobby Wagner had a great season. Defensive Player of the Year caliber. Maybe if the tackles were higher, I think he'd be a shoo-in, but he'll compete. Curtis Weaver, 17 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 13.5 though for Jadeveon Clowney led the way. 4 picks for Bobby Wagner, 3 for Quandre Diggs. Defense certainly putting up better numbers, even if they weren't as dominant, which I'm not sure that they weren't. But Deshaun Watson wins MVP. Ryan Tannehill's back on the Dolphins and finished at number 2. Saquon at number 3. What's happening? These are such unusual players to see in here. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon. Okay. I don't even remember what team I am. Deion Jones wins Defensive Player of the Year. I'm the Seahawks. Where is Bobby Wagner? At 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Christian Griffin, their quarterback. They've already replaced Mitchell Trubisky. We have Cesar Castro at Offensive Rookie of the Year, but didn't win it. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Byron Moody. Do the Bears win everything all the time? MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year last year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year this year. No Seahawks. Well, Irvin Jameson is at number 8, actually, because he's a big impact player for us. Ooh, Dallas Cowboys at home at CenturyLink. No way the Cowboys beat us, right? I don't think home field advantage factors in at all in the Madden Sim engine. I will tell you that much. I don't think it plays even the slightest factor. Not going to jump in. We're going to do another season after this for sure. This rebuild's flying by. I've only been recording for, almost an hour. All right, so I have been recording a little while, but we'll see if we can beat the Dallas Cowboys here to advance the conference championship once again, and we do, and it's the Packers again. Last time, we were not victorious. This time, we look to change things, to go back to the Super Bowl, and we do. We'll jump in here. Super Bowl Dallas. Wouldn't it have been nice for the Cowboys to get in there? No, it wouldn't have been. They get eliminated in the divisional. I love it. And now we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seahawks Steelers is an interesting matchup. And the reason that it is because who's their quarterback going to be? Let's see if there are any development increases. I hope so. That's always so nice to see. But as far as I can tell, none on offense. Aiyuk is near an 80, though, at least. And then defensively, I don't see any on defense. Curtis Weaver actually went up to star. All right, we had at least one. Thank God somebody got a development trait increase. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Super Bowl Dallas, Seahawks, Steelers. They're an 84 overall to our 85. We haven't exactly built a juggernaut, I'll tell you that much. But we're closing in on finally winning a Super Bowl for the first time since the Legion of Boom was a thing. Let's go and get it. Jalen Hurts is their QB. That answers that. 75 overall quarterback. Led his team to the Super Bowl. Okay. Close game here in the Super Bowl. We look to stop that and go ahead and extend this lead. Don't let them score. It's 17-14. The Steelers could very easily take the lead, and they do. We answer right back. It's 24-21. 3 minutes to go. Let's go ahead and go play by play. Steelers driving down. They are unstoppable. They've already scored. And our offense has a chance, and we seem unstoppable. It's big gain after big gain. Big catch by Will Dissly. Not much doing there. 3rd and 6. Do we jump in? Let's the Seahawks do it. And there's another big gain. 11-yard scramble from Russell Wilson. Not much doing there. We need a touchdown. There's Chris Carson. Another run. 9 yards from Chris Carson. We are going to score, and we do. 31-28, we take over. Just don't let them do it. They're running, they're passing. 46 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and see if we cannot stop Jalen Hurts and this Steelers team. 31 seconds to play. We've got Irvin Jameson in the box. This is some Cam Chancellor level stuff. A huge safety. And Jalen Hurts already being a little bit errant, but he's thrown for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on this defense. Brandon McManus has one of the biggest legs in the league, if not the biggest currently. So this is no gimme. We gotta keep him far. And they're checking down, and I think they got the first down. I switched on with Bobby Wagner, and they got the first down. They're calling a timeout. This is going to be too long for a field goal, and I think they're out of timeouts, right? No timeouts. They're going to try the field goal. I think it's too far. I know this was their target line. I think it's slightly too far. We're going to ice them, though. Suggestions for field goal is come out in a regular defense. How about field goal block? Let's go safe, man, actually. They're iced. Come on. Come on, miss it. For the Super Bowl. Kick is up, and it is wide right. McManus shanks it. And that is a Super Bowl victory secured. The Seattle Seahawks, once again, will be Super Bowl champions under Russell Wilson. We're just going to go down, and it is all over. 31-28 is your final. The Seahawks are Super Bowl champions, and we're going to come back for another season, try to repeat. Okay, what type of money are we looking at? I don't think it's going to be great. I do want to bring back Trey Flowers. I do want to bring back Michael Dixon. Again, I don't really care too much about the rest of those guys. We have a little bit of money. Trey Flowers wants a higher salary. I can bump it up. Although this looks like a new contract entirely. I think it was reworked so that we could afford it. He wants to play for a new team. Well, I'm not going to franchise tag you. And Michael Dixon wants a higher salary, which I can do. We don't have the salary cap room for it. I maybe can't do it. He wants to test free agency. How much is it to franchise tag a kicker? Under $4 million. We need Trey Flowers. But then if we get Trey Flowers, we can't get Michael Dixon. That's the problem. I'm going to franchise tag Michael Dixon, the rare franchise tag on a punter. But if there's any kicker or punter who's good enough for it, it would be Michael Dixon. Probably the best punter in the NFL, or right in the conversation at least. And we're going to lose out on Trey Flowers. We're losing Quandre Diggs. We're just going to look to replace a cornerback. And that could be through the draft. Don't have money to do so in free agency. So it's going to have to be through the draft. Not going to pick up the 5th year on LJ Collier. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. Time for the draft. So I would not be opposed to trading up, clearly. We pick at number 32. Depends what type of value's up here. Of course, we're really looking primarily to the secondary, as we have Bryson and Bronson here up at the top. Interesting name combos. We'd have to trade up so high in order to get some of the players that I want, so I'm just going to simulate to 32 and kind of take out of what's available. There's a good center. We'll have to see if he's available. There's a good cornerback that I want a little bit further down the board that I might just end up taking now, depending on who's here. Devontae Jameson looks like he could be an impactful middle linebacker, could improve the defensive line. Solomon Bowman looks like he could be great. 6'7", 295, good speed, good power, good skills, of course. But I'm not really sure what I'd like to do just yet. We have Jalen Ramsey with an A in Ramsey playing cornerback. He looks like he could be okay. Not the guy for me, though. John Yarbrough is a player that I'd like. But is he going to be available at the end of the second round? I think it's unlikely. I really do. So I might have to trade up. But with this pick, I think we're going to take a bigger position of need, and that's going to be Devontae Jameson. We need to improve inside linebacker, and he should help us do just that. Number 22 in the class, took him at 32. Unfortunately, he's only a 72 overall, and it's at normal development. I'm going to kill somebody, dude. All of my draft picks recently have been normal development. It's so boring to take these normal development players. It says we need defensive tackle, but it's really, we've got Poona Ford and we play at 3-4, so we're fine. We could use one. LJ Collier might even be a trade piece here. I know it's realistic, but we didn't pick up his 5th year option. Honestly, I'm looking to trade him, so I might just do that. We're going to gamble. We shouldn't have. The corner's not going to be there, but I tried to trade up, and teams were just not having it. It's like I'm not going to give you a ton of picks to move up a little bit. So this cornerback hopefully is still here. He's not going to be, though. Yeah, he's definitely gone. He's gone. That's just what happens. That's just what happens. But it is what it is. Trading a 2, a 3, and a 3 next year for a 2 from the Jets. But they have been so terrible that I really think that's going to work out to be almost a first-round pick. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, which should have that being, again, like maybe the 33rd pick in the draft. So I can either use that to trade up or something. And I am going to cap off this draft by taking an offensive lineman and a player who was supposed to go at the end of the 6th round, but wouldn't you know, it's the 4th, and he is gone. Because I don't know what to tell you. That's very annoying. But it's not like he was amazing anyway. Just was going to be a pretty good first-round value offensive lineman. We don't really need it, but it would have been nice. This will be the team for season number 4. Offensive line will get upgraded. We have 2 points laying around. Brandon Aiyuk continues to develop pretty well. Might go ahead and throw him on the thumbnail. And then defensively, we're going to start Jamison over Cody Barton. Just think there's a higher potential there. Younger player. Buda Baker's been moved over to strong safety. We got Marquise Blair starting at free safety. And then at corner, we've got Levi Wallace stepping into a starting role with Ugo Amadi being our slot corner. Defensive line looks pretty good. This is not a spectacular team, but it's a pretty good one. So hopefully we repeat as Super Bowl champions. Just need some of these players to continue to develop. That's it. Midseason mark. Not doing as well as I would have hoped. 3-4. Bobby Wagner is an impending free agent. He's an expiring contract. DK Metcalf, same deal. Rashad Penny, Michael Dixon, who we franchise tag. DJ Fluker, I'm not going to bring back. Marquise Blair, Jason Myers, who I'm not going to bring back. Justin Britt, who I'm not going to bring back. Ben Burke-Kirven, how expensive are you? Not expensive. He's someone I do want to bring back just because he's good depth. He's a good player, and he is really not expensive. And I could probably even take this down a peg and still get him to come back. Higher salary? Okay. Marquise Blair probably shouldn't. But is he cheap? He's cheap. We'll bring him back. And, I mean, sky's the limit for him. And by sky, I mean it takes a lot of XP to get him upgraded. So, like, probably 80 overall is a limit. But he's cheap. Michael Dixon I want. Rashad Penny is probably going to be like $4 million a year. 3, 4. I don't know that I want that for a backup running back, but we use a lot of running backs. So we might as well extend Rashad Penny. And he returns. I do want Michael Dixon. I want DK Metcalf. I want Bobby Wagner. Should be able to get all these guys. DK is looking for a lot of money, huh? Okay, DK. We'll give it to you. 24 years old, 5-year contract. Just under 9 for the first year. And then Bobby Wagner, 4-year contract for him. 52 over those 4 years. And Michael Dixon we can even extend as well. Give me 7 years for Michael Dixon. Resign. Salary needs improvement. You're a punter. Settle down. And we snuck into the playoffs. Even losing week 17, 21-17 to the Rams. We won the division is why. Rams finished 6-10 and still beat us. Our offense took a huge step back. Perhaps it's time to reevaluate. As Chris Carson was not that great. I mean, he was good. Rashad Penny was good. 12 touchdowns. I mean, the offense is so weird. 9 TDs for Will Dissly. Brandon Aiyuk had 7 touchdowns. How do we get these receivers more involved? They're good. Defensively, another great season for Bobby Wagner. Jerron Reed had 19 tackles for loss. 10 sacks for Jadeveon Clowney. 7 for Curtis Weaver. Saw 6.5 for Ngakoue. 4 picks for Bobby Wagner. Led the way. We're not going to be in the conversation for anything as Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Seahawks, Russell Wilson at 9. Guess he snuck in. Offensive Player of the Year, Zeke. Russell Wilson at 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack. Bobby Wagner at 2. Clowney at 5. Devontae Jamison at 8. Dude, we finished way higher than I thought for a lot of these. Alfred Roosevelt wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he was a receiver. We might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's Devontae Jamison. I'm going to need a development trait increase for that. And I think I'm going to do one more season after this as well. So stay tuned. But can we beat the 9-6-1 Redskins to advance to the divisional? Yes. And now it's the 11-4-1 Vikings standing in our way. Last time this happens, Blair Walsh was wide left, and the Seahawks win. I think Adrian Peterson even fumbled in that game too. I think Cam Chancellor stripped him from behind, which was weird because he was in front of him. Did Adrian Peterson turned around falling? It was a strange play if I recall. But once again, we had the Cowboys, and they made it all the way to the conference championship this time. They're not playing around, but neither are we. We're looking for back-to-back Super Bowls, and we do just that. Well, appearances at least. And facing us is the Tennessee Titans. We'll upgrade Devontae Jamison. That's his Defensive Rookie of the Year experience. You gotta give me at least star development on him. Please. Any development trait increases? Not really. Aiyuk doesn't go up, even though he's played well. And then defensively, Jamison doesn't go up either. Marquise Blair is star now, which is cool, but dude, how do you win Defensive Rookie of the Year and you're still at normal development? Come on. They need to factor that in heavily. But let's go ahead and jump into Super Bowl Arizona to try and repeat. Back-to-back champions. Here we come. So not really too much going on in this game. Only 7 points here as we come to the end of the first half. 10-0 as we are now in the second. Come on, Seahawks. Defense playing real strong. Tennessee finally gets on the board. Our offense hasn't been great enough, though. But I think it's too little too late as the Titans once again come up just a little bit short. 16-10 is your final. The Seattle Seahawks are back-to-back champions. And I'm going for a three-peat. I don't care. Dude, this celebration's the same, and it's so long in between the podium. Like, I need to be there faster. Because I do want to include this part in the video, and I skipped it the first time. But Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, Bobby Wagner all up there. They hoist the Lombardi. Chris Carson, I think, is in the back as well. Not face scanned into the game. But, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the final season. Going for a three-peat. All right, Michael Dixon wants a higher salary, right? We're going to up everything. Because we have the money to. And we could even, he resigns by the way, we could even go out and give pretty good money to a free agent. I need to get a kicker. Our team's pretty good. Where do we need to improve? Still probably the offensive line, as we lost 2 pieces right there. Britt and Fluker are gone. Do we have replacements? Wilkinson and Hewitt. So we kind of have replacements. We really do. But if we can get a stud, we're going to do that. What else? I think receiver's fine. And then defensively, if we get a great corner or a great defensive lineman. Other than that, we are good to go. David DeCastro is the guy. That's who we're signing. We'll give him a lot of money to become a Seattle Seahawk. But he's good and he deserves it. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of defensive line talent here. So, big contract for David DeCastro. Definitely would like to bring him in. Oh, Quinn Williams, I didn't even see. He's going to be wanting a lot of money, right? Probably. Can we afford this? No. We were rejected on both of the free agents. Really lowball Quinn Williams. I guess our consolation prize could be Kevin Zeitler, as the Steelers are trying to get him to replace David DeCastro. So this is a much worse player for a very similar price tag, which is a little bit annoying, but hopefully we bring him in. He'd be a good addition to our offensive line. It's the final season. Might as well go all out and try to bring in some guys that are going to help us out. And yes, my definition, and brace yourself for this one, my definition of going all out is signing an 84 overall offensive guard to a 2-year contract. I know. Pretty ballsy. Of course, picking number 32 again. Now I'd be willing to trade up a lot, as the number 1 player in the entire class is a white receiver named Gary Johnson from Georgia. He looks like a monster, to be fair. He's 75 overall. Not too bad. Not too bad. There's just... there's no one worth trading up for, really. Like, there are good players, but there are decent players where we pick as well. Kind of a weird rebuild where we didn't really draft any actual studs. But there are some good players available. I think I'm going to take a safety here. DJ Griffin out of Texas A&M, 75 overall, number 11 in the class. Is anyone shocked to see his development is normal? I don't know if they changed the draft classes at all, but I'm drafting more normal development players than I ever have. It seems like every single time I draft someone, it is normal development. And if I'm drafting out of the first round, the odds of me drafting a player with higher than normal development, slim to none. And the Jets were actually good, by the way, so our second rounder is not too good. Sucks to suck, I guess. 2 cornerbacks here. They're first round talent. 70 overall normal development, 32 in the draft. Took him at 58. Supposed to go 4th round. I could just have the CPU take the next one, but I'm going to, and then we're just going to end it and go to the final season, see what we can do. James Terrell, welcome to the team, 70 overall. Number 29 in the class. Normal development. What else would it be? Is there anything above normal? I don't know. The CPU drafted 2 players with star or better development, and they are both not good overalls, I will say. Ship is a 71 overall tight end because he's good at blocking. But yeah, I mean, it's normal development all over the place. This is the least colorful team we've ever built in terms of development. Like, very few superstars or superstar X Factor players, or even star. There's so much bronze for these normal development players. It's so sad. But this is the final season. Let's go ahead and see if they have what it takes. We're going to stop at the midseason mark, just see how we're doing, upgrade some players, and then see you guys for the playoffs. 6-1-1 at the midseason mark. We have a tough task ahead of us in the 6-1 Baltimore Ravens. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our team. Cam Ship has 5 development. How? How is he getting so many experience points? He's an offensive lineman that isn't playing. He's our 3rd string tight end, I guess. Yeah, maybe we have something there. But yeah, team is upgraded. 87 overall, 89 offense, 85 defense. Our coach XP would be used for nothing. I'm not going to bother extending Russell Wilson because this is the final season. And we will not be revisiting this rebuild as it is a realistic style, and I pretty much don't do that for those. Pretty much only revisit the fantasy ones because it, in general, is a bit more fun, but I don't know. It depends. We had a first-round bye, went 10-5-1, so we really fell off big time. Let's just go ahead and check out the awards. Jordan Love wins MVP of the 8-8 Lions. Any Seahawks in there? Not that I can see. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Jordan Love. No Seahawks. Defensive Player of the Year, Roquan Smith. Bobby Wagner at 3. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Benjamin Benedict. New quarterback. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Deion Johnson. Just missed it with these cornerbacks. Griffin's a safety. And I chose to not start him because his development was only normal. That's the full reason that he didn't play as much, is because he had only normal development. There's no point. You're just younger at that point. What? We had a QB throw 3 touchdowns, not named Russell Wilson. He was 7 for 8, averaged 3 yards per game, and too many touchdowns. What a year for him. Rushing, Chris Carson had a good year. Rashad Penny had a great year with 14 TDs, even if the yards per carry wasn't there. Receiving, Brandon Aiyuk had a good year as well. Will Dissly was a great tight end. Tyler Lockett had a good year. They all had good years in different ways, though. It's interesting. Bobby Wagner, solid numbers. Sacks, 9.5 for Clowney, led the way. Interceptions, 4 for Budda Baker, led the squad. But let's go ahead and see if we can three-peat as champions in the divisional, in the conference championship, and then the Super Bowl. 3 games, and we see the Cowboys again. Let's get past them. Conference championship, we do. We beat them by 3. DK Metcalf's got a point. DJ Griffin, that safety, has an upgrade point. Can we beat the Packers again? We are 1-1 so far in this rebuild against them, and now we're 2-1. We beat them again. We have another Super Bowl appearance. Brandon Aiyuk with an upgrade point. 3 Super Bowls in a row. Can you imagine a three-peat in a Madden rebuild? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Offensive line is looking pretty good. I don't see any upgrade improvements. Brandon Aiyuk never got to star, but he progressed so nicely for someone that only had normal development. And then defensively, again, no development upgrades. Dude, incentivize me to play more. Something. And I know you get them when you actually play the games more often than not. You get these breakout challenges you can do. But for guys like me that simulate, and there are a lot of people who do, it's not just me for these videos. There are a lot of people who just simulate because they like to team build. You got to give me something. A player has a decent year. They exceed expectations. Give them a development upgrade. I'm not saying they got to jump to Superstar X Factor, but some of these normal guys, there needs to be a different rate for it. Like in terms of percentages for chances to go up, if they exceed their expectations and they have normal development, I need at least a 75% chance that they go up to star. And if they exceed their expectations as a star, there needs to be maybe a 50% chance they go up to superstar. Maybe less, maybe like 35%. And if they exceed their expectations as a superstar, show me Superstar X Factor. Maybe it's only a 25% chance, 1 in 4, but I need something. As we look like we are off to a good start, but the Texans struck very, very quickly. 21-13, 28-20 now. This is a very close game, and the Texans have tied it up at 28. 3 minutes to play, 4 minutes, I should say. And we got a huge play. Oh my goodness. Travis Etienne is the Texans running back, and they are certainly going to score here. Our defense is not going to stop them. I'm not going to jump in. They score a touchdown. Seahawks taking over. 3rd and 2. Big gain, 4th and 2. And they ran the ball to Chris Carson. A minute to play. I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in. Show me something. 40 seconds. I'm going for 2 if I get it, by the way. And I'm jumping up the middle. Go, Russell. Go, Russell. Timeout. All I do in these realistic rebuilds is I scramble when I get the opportunity. Run with Wilson. Oh, that's wide open over the middle. DK Metcalf, big catch and a timeout. I was going to run, and then I saw him streaking across. I was all down for that. Give me an Aiyuk touchdown. Maybe we had him. Can we go up the middle here? Did I really throw over the line there? Yikes. I thought I came back. We got Disley. Did we get there? Disley. Touchdown, Will Disley. Let's go. And we've already won 2 Super Bowls. We've already won 2 Super Bowls. I'm going for 2 here. If we don't get it, we don't get it. Oh, my goodness. This is when the Seahawks threw the ball. This is when the Seahawks threw the ball. Where's Malcolm Butler? Somebody find him. We could run the ball. I don't trust it. We have Russell Wilson. We can scramble if we need to. Actually, I don't know. I like the play we had. Let's reset the play. Slant Aiyuk. Drag Lockett. Block Carson. Look for Disley on an out. And we'll scramble if we have to. We're going to scramble. We got it. Russell Wilson's too fast. I totally panicked in the pocket. I only looked at Russell Wilson. I didn't look at a receiver. And I really panicked, but it worked out because Russell Wilson's incredibly fast. I'm telling you, this is all Dolphins franchise would be if Lawrence Ross didn't have 65 speed. If you guys don't watch Dolphins franchise, you don't know what I'm talking about. Popular series on the channel. I'd recommend checking it out if you're new to the channel. If you'd like to see me actually play the games. But spoiler alert, as you can probably already tell, I'm not a very talented player. That's not my my level of expertise. I'm more of a drafter, except for in this video. That did not go well. 6 seconds for a Super Bowl. We're going to blitz heavy because there's no reason not to. They're going to have to throw the ball early. Just going to blitz with Bobby Wagner. They throw the ball over the middle. Incomplete. They have a timeout, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Last play, though. Tiny Boop Squig Shorterly needs to get to the 36. Probably a bit too far for him, if I'm honest. They're throwing it quick, and that is not enough. A three-peat for the Seattle Seahawks team. What a way to end it. 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
We'll fake it.